chẳng ngàyណា Campuchia ខ្មែរត្រឹមរកគ្នាពីមពីសិទ្ធិសេរីឯករាជ្យបូរណភាពអធិបតេយ្យខ្មែរប្រស្រីបដូរបដិញថែរក្សាមិនឲ្យបរទេសឆ្លៀនពៀនមកត្រួតត្រាសម្បត្តិដូនតាធនធានជាតិខ្មែរព្រះអាទិត្យរាំងបំភ្លឺកម្ពុជាខ្មែរឯកភាពគ្នាដងស្រាយបញ្ហាយោបាយសេដ្ឋកិច្ចសង្គមអហិង្សាសិលធម៌ថ្លៃថ្លាជីវភាពរុងរឿងដីយើងពូជយើងភូខលយើងខ្មែរក្រោកឡើងសង្គមជាខេមរាបោះឆ្នោតឲ្យចំដល់អំណាចជូនប្រជាដើម្បីកម្ពុជារួមរឿងសេនសានជ័យយោគណៈបក្សសង្គ្រោះជាតិចិត្តគណៈបក្សសង្គ្រោះជាតិប្រាជ្ញាថ្មីគ្មានសាមគ្គីក្រុមនានាសង្គ្រោះបំរើការពារកម្ពុជាខ្មែរត្រឹមរកគ្នាពីមពីសិទ្ធិសេរីឯករាជ្យបូរណភាពអធិបតេយ្យខ្មែរប្រស្រីបដូរបដិញថែរក្សាមិនឲ្យបរទេសឆ្លៀនពៀនមកត្រួតត្រាសម្បត្តិដូនតាធនធានជាតិខ្មែរព្រះអាទិត្យរាំងបំភ្លឺកម្ពុជាខ្មែរឯកភាពគ្នាដងស្រាយបញ្ហាយោបាយសេដ្ឋកិច្ចសង្គមអហិង្សាសិលធម៌ថ្លៃថ្លាជីវភាពរុងរឿងដីយើងពូជយើងភូខលយើងខ្មែរក្រោកឡើងសង្គ្រោះជាតិខេមរាបោះឆ្នោតឲ្យចំផ្ដល់អំណាចជូនប្រជាដើម្បីកម្ពុជារួមរឿងសេនសាន
And hello, thank you for joining our show. Welcome. This is Khmer Youth Voices for Justice. Today is June the 7th, 2020. Again, thank you for joining our show. My name is Linda Wu. I am broadcasting live from Los Angeles, California, USA. Again, welcome. And thank you. Our topic for today, for our show today is 2022 Cambodian Commune elections, intimidations and threats. we will discuss the past Sunday, which is 2 days ago, the commune elections in Cambodia. So, and I have two wonderful guests that will join me today. But before that, again, thank you for joining our show. This is Khmer Youth Voices for Justice. This is part of the CNRP-America live show. There is a report before I go into our topic and before I introduce our guest. Let me fill you in on what is the latest topic. Yesterday on June the 6th, Washington Post came out with an article, and it is talk about China secretly building naval facility in Cambodia. So this is from the Washington Post. So the headline is China is secretly building a naval facility in Cambodia for the exclusive use of its military, with both countries denying that the case. So that's what from Washington D.C. I want to remind our audience that who have not followed the current event or follow what's going on in Cambodia since 2019. The Wall Street Journal also came out with an article that indicating that Cambodia has signed a 30-year contract with China, granting the Chinese military exclusive use of Ream Naval Base. So this allowed China to store troops, weaponry, warship there. So last year on June 2021, basically a year ago, Deputy Secretary of State Wendy Sherman came to visit Cambodia. So when she was visiting Cambodia, she raised a concern about the construction of Ream Naval Base in Cambodia. So what happened was Hun Sen, the Prime Minister of Cambodia, invited Wendy Sherman and the U.S. official to visit Ream Naval Base, but later on denied full access. So if you can imagine, last month when Hun Sen was in Washington, D.C., visiting as a chairman of ASEAN, he was meeting with Deputy Secretary Wendy Sherman and also meeting with Joe Biden. And if you remember, they wouldn't let him sit by Joe Biden. They wouldn't. So any place, anywhere, it's always him. So basically, he's a chairman. He should be sitting next to the president, but he didn't. So that probably has some effect on that, where she went to Cambodia in 2021. She wasn't allowed to do anything. So, and then on January this year, the Asia Marine Transparency also released a report that adventurers also spot at Cambodia Ream Naval Base. So the dredging of deeper port facility at Ream Naval Base was necessary for docking a larger military ships. So basically, Cambodia been not very honest about this Ream Naval Base. We all know that China is involved somehow, and but they're not saying. But according to Wall Street Journal, according to Washington Post, China, the Washington Post, like yesterday came out as well that China is secretly building a naval facility. So that also a little bit of that. So what is the deal with that? China is quickly establishing military presence in Cambodia. So the Ream Naval Base would give China power over the South China Sea. So that what the situation why the U.S. want to know. So according to the Washington Post, the establishment of Chinese naval base in Cambodia, only its second such overseas outpost and its first in the strategically significant Indo-Pacific region, Beijing strategically to build a network of military facility around the world in support of its true global power. So that's according to the Washington Post. I want to show a YouTube video. This is regarding the China military presence at Ream Naval Base. This is the as a statement made the Department of State yesterday. by the U.S. mission in ASEAN regarding this. So let me share the screen so that way our audience be able to know what's going on with the Ream Naval Base. So hang on, okay?
There was a Washington Post story saying that the PRC is secretly building a naval facility in Cambodia for the exclusive use of its military. That's supposed to be a ground station for the Bay-built navigation technology. Do you have any comment on that?
I don't have a comment on the specific story you referenced, but it is consistent with credible reporting we've seen from the PRC that the PRC is engaged in a significant ongoing construction project at Ream Naval Base. As we said, an exclusive PRC military presence at Ream could threaten Cambodia's economy and undermine regional security as well. We and countries in the region have expressed concerns about the lack of transparency on the intent, the nature, the scope of this project, as well as the role of the PRC military is playing in its construction and in its post-construction use of the facility. The Cambodian people, neighboring countries, ASEAN, and the region more broadly would benefit from more transparency. We've made a very similar point in terms of the Pacific and the Pacific island nations. We have seen the PRC attempt to put forward a series of shadowy, opaque deals that they would like to see signed in the dead of night with no input or transparency and even limited visibility on the part of the governments in question. So this has been a pattern on the part of the PRC.
Sorry, what's the date on that guidance you just read?
6th of June, 2022.
Well, okay. Wait.
So that was the statement made yesterday. The U.S. government is well aware of the Ream Naval Base. So, like I said, China is development at Ream Naval Base presents security threat to the U.S. So that is the latest development, and it's not just came out in June 6, 2022. This is brought up since 2019, 2021, and now so it's piling up. And that's the big news in America regarding Ream Naval Base. Thank you for joining our show. For our audience that just joined us, again, this is Khmer Youth Voices for Justice. My name is Linda. I am here in Los Angeles, California. So let me introduce my guest, and then we'll talk about our topic, which is on last Sunday, this past Sunday, the 2022 Cambodian Commune elections. Let me introduce one of my guests. I have Sita Arunson. She is both of my guests are from Fresno, California. So let me introduce her. Her name is Sita Arunson. Yep, so Bong.
Linda.
How are you?
Good.
Thank you for joining our show. How are you feeling? I know you've been sick, so how are you feeling?
A lot better. Ready to go back to work tomorrow, but yeah, been feeling sick for the last a week and a half, 2 week-ish.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Bong, for joining our show, and thank you for not even quite well yet, but join our show and then also ready to go back to work. Bong Sita, she is a CNRP-A supporter. Like I said, she is in Fresno, California. I believe it's like 3 or 4 hours away from me, but she and her family always dedicated her time for true democracy in Cambodia. So we need her in LA to help protest, to stand our ground. Anywhere she will show up, her family will show up and to protest with us, and or any event they drove hours and hours just to be with us. And for that, thank you, Bong Sita.
Yeah, happy to be part of the movement.
Thank you, Bong. My second guest, her name is Somaly Nu. She is also from Fresno, California. Let me bring her out. Jimmy, soup on. How are you?
A little uncomfortable here in the car, but I'm okay.
For our audience, Somaly is in her car. She is driving, almost make it home. But thank you so much for always. Doesn't matter where you at, always agreeing to be on our show to voice your concern, and for that, thank you. And how you been?
Been busy, social media, striving through, looking through everything, Facebook, Instagram, you name it, it's everywhere. But yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
Thank you, Somaly. Let me bring back Sita, and I'm reading some comment. And Sam, I hope you feel better. You said you had COVID last week, so thank you for joining our shows. Thank you for watching our show, Sam, and hope since you are watching our show, I'm assuming that you are recovering from COVID. So feel better, drink plenty of water. And get a lot of rest. That's the way to fight COVID. So, and thank you, our audience. There's 40 of you that watching right now. So thank you so much. Let me start with Bong Sita. We are talking about commune elections in Cambodia. How do you feel about commune elections, Bong?
Well, it was exciting, and it was, but disappoint at the same time. Before the election, there was a lot of excitement, throughout Cambodia, throughout the world. Actually, we are in the United States, but we got so excited too. The reason is because, as many people already know, CNRP was dissolved. CNRP was the only opposition party, that a major opposition party that's stand for democracy against CPP, Hun Sen's regime. But it was dissolved in 2017, and since then, this commune election is another party, but it stands for democracy, and it's like, we feel like a revitalize of democracy in Cambodia again. So people all over the world got so excited that that it was happening again.
And is the party, is it a brand new party, Bo? Is it already exists long time ago that people are very familiar with it? From what I noticed, the rally is pretty big. The energy is there. Everybody was a very, I mean, it's still everyone is still excited now, but the energy is there. So for a party that came into picture in the end of 2021, is it something that the people in Cambodia are more familiar with, or is it brand new that just popped up in 2021?
It's not brand new. It's Candlelight Party was the original party for Sam Rangsi, who created the party way back, I think in 1990 something. I can't remember the date, but then he left that behind. He create a he joined and venture with another party and create a CNRP. So even though now he's not part of the Candlelight Party, but he was the creator of that party back then, and other people carried on that party, that torch, and continue the movement, and but it just became more active at the end of last year, and the movement became very very, brought a lot of excitement back to the people who believe in democracy and want democracy in Cambodia.
Thank you, Bong Sita. Somaly, how do you feel about Candlelight Party? How do you see from watching from America, looking into Cambodia, how exciting it is, or what's your take on the energy level?
I have to say I am very surprised and happy at the same time, seeing the image of the party, starting as a starting ground, right? I didn't think it was that big of a volume, but then as days goes by, you're looking at all the video clips and the image of how our people are striving. I'm baffled, actually, happy at the same time, sad at the same time, anxious at the same time. But yeah, you name it. Mien sabai, mien yum, mien ho, mien everything, all kind of emotions running through my brain. ពេលយើងឃើញហ្នឹងសប្បាយចិត្តមែនទែនដំបូងសប្បាយចិត្ត
Thank you, Somaly. I have a little bit of YouTube video from RFA, Radio Free Asia. It's in English. It's like a couple minutes. So I want to introduce to our audience in case our audience have not familiar with the Cambodia politics and have not familiar with who is the opposition party. Let me just bring a little bit. Bong Sita already said the CPP, the Cambodia People Party, been in power since I guess 1979, or Hun Sen being on. They were the only party there that since then. So it's over 40 years. People that born after me in the 80s, that's the only prime minister they would know of, and that's the only is Hun Sen. So now they still 40 years later, it's still Hun Sen. So it's very unfortunate. And all the opposition party, besides CNRP, it's just there to basically support Hun Sen. But the main opposition party before was CNRP, and in 2017, Hun Sen dissolved CNRP. And since then on, we don't have any legit opposition party in Cambodia. So recently, not recently, at the end of last year, it's called CLP, stand for Candlelight Party, came into the picture, was able to participate in the politics. So from then on, they have their view on democracy is very similar. So of course, people are hunger for democracy. People are hunger to get back to work, get back to helping their community. So let me play a little bit of the YouTube video, and then we'll talk some more.
So the commune elections in Cambodia are elections at the subnational level, electing members of the National Assembly who represent different districts, different areas, subparts of the country by province. It happens all at once, and the commune councillors are from different political parties typically, and it has been a very competitive affair because at the rural level in Cambodia, the ruling party controls a lot of what goes on, and so it's never much of a surprise when almost 90+% of the votes collected are actually for the ruling party. Well, there's been a bit of definitely some intimidation against the Candlelight Party, which I guess is the closest thing to what had been the Cambodian National Rescue Party, the main opposition party after it was banned. So that this is the remnant of that hasn't been banned yet, I guess. But it's an indication, I think, of how concerned the authorities, certainly the ruling party, is the brand of the Candlelight Party as a possible heir and vote getter in this commune election. But there's never been anywhere near the stakes at the commune level that there have always been at the national level, where the ruling party was at risk at one point of losing, and therefore reacted in a way where it banned the opposition completely. When you are dealing with a political system that does not allow the main opposition to operate, that's never a good image. Are you afraid that your opponent might actually win? Managed democracy might be the idea here, but it's really looking increasingly like managed dictatorship if one isn't careful.
The video is from Radio Free Asia. It's very short, but it describes what's going on right now in Cambodia. And as we mentioned, on June 5th, which was on Sunday, Cambodian went and vote in their commune, Khom Sankat or commune elections, basically picking the city council, like he said. So Somaly, he also mentioned a little bit about there's no real opposition, how Hun Sen is so scared of oppositions. Should they be scared of candlelight?
You know what? They're the only party right now out there. They shouldn't be scared of anybody. They have the power, they have the control, they have the ability, so they shouldn't be scared. And I see that the fact that they're not scaring, that's why they're allowing all of this. I guess they use the word term multiple opposition or political that they're allowing now. But we know the real deal here. They shouldn't be scaring the candlelight party at all. Why should they? Right?
Yeah. Thank you, Somaly. Bong Sita, can you hear me okay? What's your take on, no, now she's not here. What my take on that was, like I said, 40 years of prosperity, 40 years of development. And in Cambodia, that's what the main political party, CNRP, have been telling Cambodian in Cambodia, also overseas as well, how much they enjoy this prosperity, how much they enjoy all that. So why should they worry about candlelight? Sita, are you still there? Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I got disconnected briefly. Repeat the question. Why should they worry about candlelight party?
Should they be worried about candlelight party? I mean, they spending their time the last 40 years, quote, they said, they are developing the country. They are, bringing peace and prosperity to Cambodia, all that good stuff. Why should they be scared? In 2017, they dissolved CNRP, and now candlelight, all the energy go up to candlelight, all the people, all the activists. Should they be scared or shouldn't they be scared?
If they are wanting the real competition, if they want a true democracy in Cambodia, they should not be scared. CPP should not be scared. If they scared that anybody, as an individual, as party, as as a group of people, if you are scared of the other, of the opposition person, or of your enemy, or of your opposition party, that means you're weak, you're doing something wrong. So if, like you said, they mentioned that they are, doing very well, why should they be scared of any party that comes up and, trying to do their parts? So they shouldn't be scared. They should just let the opposition parties, not just candlelight, but any parties that want true democracy to thrive and in Cambodia, they should allow that to and have the election free and fair election. Don't use the threaten and to the other people, to the other party, to intimidate them, like they did for the candlelight party before the election and during the election day as well. So they should eliminate all that. They should just, let the people choose who they want to serve them.
Thank you, Bong. Yes, I totally agree with you that the people should have a voice in who they choose to run the country, run the office, and in this case, run the commune in Cambodia. But again and again, we keep seeing them CPP intimidate and threat the activists. So leading up to these elections, this past Sunday election, we all can see that I believe that's 20 people being summoned by the court, and also there have been arrests as well, and those are real intimidations. And for a party, for a main party in Cambodia that is very proudly saying proudly on thank you peace, and but at the same time it wouldn't let other people be in peace. They arrest and also on development and on peace and prosperity and development, but at the same time we see every day the woman of Naga Corp out there still protesting. And you've been on to the show already many times talking about the brave lady of Naga. They've been protesting, I mean, just protest alone since December. And the no negotiation is like over a year and a half already. And under their, Hun Sen peace, prosperity, and development, at the same time, there's no one be safe. Let me put Somaly back. Is at home. Hi, Somaly.
Hi, Bong.
How are you?
Good. Okay.
You home? Thank you for dialing in. um, in Cambodia, the main party been, like I said, we're talking about the peace, prosperity, and development. But at the same time, the lady of Naga Corp is out there protesting every day. Our Friday women are protesting every Friday, demanding the release of their husband. And the husband was in jail because they were part of the CNRP. So many of them been in jail since 2019, 2018, and still continue. So should they be stopped saying thank you peace, thank you development and prosperity, and just being straight up and then just say, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you now. Okay, Bong.
Okay. How would you describe Cambodia in terms of right now the main party, which is CPP, who keep going on thank you peace on their slogan?
Well, they can continue on with their slogan, whether it's a true slogan or not. It's all determined by how their action is taken. So far, there's many things that they thank you peace for, right? But as far as development and planning and things like that needs improvement, it's been ongoing. Trash still is an issue. Probably the plumbing is still an issue. Land grabbing is still an issue. There's just so many things that are an issue, and yet people and themselves as a power grabbing individual. I'm not saying individual. I'm saying that they're as a one and only opposition party, and they're still holding on to that. I think for them it's I think it's a shame. it's a shame for us overseas here as a supporter from overseas seeing the slogan, and yet I mean, I acknowledge there are a lot of improvements since then, but come on, we want to move on with good things. We want to move on with things that can be better for our country. So yeah, they can continue on with those slogans if they want to, but at the end of the day, we saw them how they do things. So
Yes. And also they can continue with the slogan as long as they have free and fair elections, but it's never free and never fair elections. Now I'm going to go back to Bang Sita. What happened on Sunday? What's going on at the poll on Sunday? I know people. I know that Bang Sita and Somalis are glued to the Facebook live and see what's going on and what does people by the end of the day, what are people yelling and screaming and about regarding the voting, Bang Sita?
Uh, well, there's many people from the Candlelight Party were disappointed because during the march, campaign march, lots of people came out. The movement, the excitement, the people showed up, just like during the CNRP in 2016, 2017. But then, the volume of the people were almost as, matched the CNRP. But the result of the election on Sunday were disappointed because not many people, people, or the cast of the vote did not turn out as they expected. There's a lot of rumor about the corruption. They did not come out right. They hide the actual vote, and they intimidated people before the election. All sorts of news came about during this election. But at the same time, I saw many people cried and disappointed, but at the same time, they also got back on their feet and said that, you know what, Candlelight Party came from nothing, came from zero, and get about a quarter of the vote during this past election. So they had nothing. Now they have a quarter of the of the love of the people of the vote. So it's not a loss. It's a win. But they didn't win the actual election, but they win a lot of people hearts and love. So
Thank you, Bang. Somaly, any input regarding on Sunday? What's going on Sunday? What you see, what you feel from the morning until the evening?
yes, Bong. It's not a surprise for me, considering that we know who's holding the powers right now. But it's saddened to me. All kinds of emotions running through my bloodstream, because the thing is that you knew that there's no win, there's just no win. And you knew that you just can't accept it, and somehow I just wish that that they would somehow win. People are striving. They're all coming out from their little black hole. They have not been voting for so long, and it happened one time out of the 5 years, and we see the momentum, how people rise up and we see all that. But it is very saddening, and at the same time, it's not surprising as well, because they're holding down to that power. They can do whatever they want to do, and the fact that they're allowing it, it's just, for me, it's for them just to test it out to see how many people are actually are running. You know, for me, it's only a guinea pig for the CPP to test it out, pretty much. And we see how they do things. We see how they're even teaching little kids to lies right in front of everybody. It's just really sad. It's really sad, and my emotion, I was crying. But at the same time, I was not surprised. I was not surprised at all.
Thank you, Somaly. Were you surprised, Sita, or were you just like expected that we're gonna get some, we're gonna win by how many we don't know, but I expected everybody that how the voting go out and vote. I expect that it's a pretty good turnout, but the result we all don't expect it. Were you surprised, or were you expected like that?
I wouldn't say that I expected the result for the candlelight party. I expected more, or at least I hoped for more. You know, that they win more seat and more vote for the candlelight. But at the same time, kind of expected because we already know CPP in control of the whole voting. The election committee, all of them work for CPP. Then there's no fair election, no free and fair election, period. And so if the election committee is biased, they are already biased, there's no way that any other party come in and hope for the best. It's not going to happen, because in every step of the way, they will favor the CPP already. So that's one major disappointing. You know, I was hoping that the election committee have some a little bit more humane in their heart, but I guess that didn't play out. They doing the same old things. They are there just like a puppet for Hun Science to run the region. But at least, again, I will say at least the democracy movement rise up again in Cambodia. So it showed that people are hunger for the democracy, and they are brave. They came out, even though not as much as we wanted, as much as we expected, but they did. And so for that, I'm so proud of Cambodian people, and I'm so proud of Cambodian people around the world that we show our support for Candlelight Party for a short period of time that they came out, but we rally behind them to support them emotionally and share those Facebook and to help them continue the movement moving forward. So
thank you, Bong. On Sunday is only the commune elections. In 2023 is going to be the national election. So we're going to still see, we're going to still hear about Candlelight Party. Let me go back to Sunday. From what I'm sure you probably hear a lot already. What happened when they count the results, Somaly? What are some of the report by either Radio Free Asia or VOA or VOD? What was the main report of what happened when they count the ballot at the end of the day?
It's behind the scene. It's not open to the public, and it's not open to the voter. And there is no. We see all the live streaming, video clips and pieces throughout the whole process, and it's just hidden. They're not providing they're not being transparent about it, is what I'm trying to say. And I just wish that, knowing that they have all this power already, and there are designated and designed, each area already, why do you have to do that behind closed door? You don't have no middle people to help with the medium process. You don't have anybody. So, I mean, and then not only that, we've seen where the person that holds or designate the election in each district, in each city, they're not being fair. I mean, we've seen where they're scheduled for the candlelight party to held on this one district, and then yet at the same time they're being merged, or they're being sent out to another place when they're doing the campaign. I mean, we've seen all those mixed up. And then also there's people that are originally in the party and then backed out. And then we see video clips of the reason why they're doing that. Yes, they have a right to back out. But why now? Why all of a sudden? Why now? Is it because they're just because CPP just wanting to see that, hey, we can still have people that are actually coming to our side? But come on now. I mean, be realistic. When you show something like that, for me, as I'm overseeing and you've seen all this, again, that's a show. It's a show off. And I wish there's more realistic to that. People in our Somaly, they did so much work. There's just so much work. They're endless. There was no sleeping. They're campaigning. They're running back and forth like crazy. They're so busy. And in the whole morale thing, I'm so happy to see them all doing that. But then at the same time, there's that hope, right? There's that, like Bong Sita and I, we're the type of person that likes to see positive things that could possibly, potentially happen in the long run. So yeah, I'm saddened that they lost, but it's not the end. Once we get into a national election, hopefully we can get more people coming in. I mean, maybe from all of our, people from Thailand that are Khmer blooded, that needs to just go in and then, start doing the voting process. Again, if you don't vote, you're not going to know what to do. And in order to change this government line of sector, they have to see that there's people that wants to make the change, that they have to see that volume. And បើសិនជាពួកយើងអត់ធ្វើអីមួយហើយនៅតែចាំវាអត់មានបានកែក៏អត់មាន change ទេស្ដេចអញ្ចឹងសុខចិត្តឲ្យពួកគាត់ខាង CPP នឹង ruling តែម្នាក់ឯងដើម្បីឲ្យបិទសម្លេងអ្នកទាំងអស់គ្នាចង់ឲ្យបិទសម្លេងអ្នកទាំងអស់គ្នាម្នាក់ឯង you're going through land grabbing, but then you don't have money to go to the court because they are the people that they are in the power and they're controlling the court too, and they have the money to do that. So the voting thing is where it can make them see, right? It can make them see, do the calculation that, oh yeah, there's this big volume, there's possibly that needs to change. But if they don't see that, they're still clinging on power, and then they're just going to go based on their whatever their pride of the moment is. And there's nothing to stop that. There is no political opposition, a true political opposition party that's going to go and help back that up. There's no balance.
Thank you, Somaly. And when you're talking about people in Thai, I just want to let our audience know there's a reason why they're in Thai. They are working in Thailand, and it's not because they enjoy the Thailand. No, because there's no job in Cambodia. So Cambodian cross the border to Thailand to get jobs, and that's not any kind of job. It's a low paying job that Thai people does not want to do. So and there's millions and millions of Cambodian cross the border every single day to go to Thai just to look for job. And for when we're talking about development and prosperity, that CPP, the slogan that they have, it's not true. It's not true slogan. Because if you're just looking at just Thailand alone, how many millions of Cambodian working at low paying job. So for that, I just want to remind our audience. And you are correct, Somaly. If you don't vote, but in order for you to vote, you have to register to vote. So if you have not registered to vote in America, please register yourself to vote for next elections. And in Cambodia, please register to vote, because next year is national election. So register and make your voice heard. And thank you, Somaly. And Bong Sita, you mentioned earlier how proud you are. And we all should be proud. We all should be proud of CLP, because they got, I mean, the official ballot have not came out yet. It's just like a preliminary number that being passed around, and we all see that in Cambodia, there's nothing going to change. What the number we see and what going to come out official going to be a little bit, probably nothing will change. But Candlelight Party grabbed over 2,000 seats. And that was 2,000 seats that we don't have last year or last month. So this is something that we watching from overseas, and also the people in Cambodia should be. I mean, we all want more, but that is 2,000 seats that we don't have, 2,000 seats that we have right now. That and those people is going to go to the town and the commune, working directly with the people. So how do you feel about that, Bong Sita?
Very proud of the people that came out and cast their vote. At least we have over 2,000 seats that that they're gonna be serving their community, even though they're not the elected, what you call Maykom or Mason Cap, but they're there to work in the office as well as a secondary or third, person in the office. So over those 2,000 people, that's where what they're gonna be doing, work with alongside with the winning person or people. So for that, my word say that Candlelight Party gonna be Chang the Tengko for CPP, like a bone stuck in their throat, that CPP cannot just do anything with their own will. Now that they're the Candlelight people gonna be there, watch their every move, so they will have to do second thought before they do, the bad thing that they've been doing for the last 5 years. So that's a good thing, even though we didn't win the actual first place, but like you said, they didn't have any. Now they had over 2,000, so that's a good thing. And another thing that I want to plead people is to do is to, especially people in Cambodia, to make a lot of noise, to plead for the election committee to be fair, even though they might not be, but at least, we will not take it as if for moving forward, there are other elections coming up, the state level election coming up, and then the federal level coming up. So if the election committee continue to be biased toward the CPP, we're gonna continue to struggle. the democratic, the people who support democratic democracy and the Candlelight Party and other party gonna continue to face struggle if the election committee are not free and fair. So people can make a lot of noise and ask for free and fair election committee. That's, you know, I hope that will change moving forward for other election that will be coming up.
Thank you, Bong. On Somaly, like Bong Sita and I said, you know, it's 2,000 seats that we don't have, 2,000 seats that we going to cause some headache. Not when I take we, it's like the people in Cambodia, the people that on the side of democracy, the people that truly feel wanting to work with the Cambodian people to improve their life, to improve the life of the commune, their commune. It's 2,000 seats that we don't have before, 2,000 seats that the people are going to be working directly. How do you feel? I mean, 2,000 seats that we took away from CPP. How about that?
Well, I just wanted to share my feelings and thoughts a little bit regarding this. You are correct. Before we don't have anything, and I'm glad that we do have something. You know, we want more, but at least we have something. And now my thoughts and sharing my thought a little bit here is I want to give that support, and I'm happy for that. And why are we still being positive about it? By even though CPP is still in control, but at least we have 2,000 commune workers that votes that actually are going to start something, at least something. Hopefully, I'm praying that once they go in and work and then help each other, you know, we're all Cambodian here. So work along together, work along together and hope for the best. Because without any changes, you know? And so I have high hope. I have high hope until this government or until this changes is not happening yet, but at least it's something. Now, those of you who are out there that didn't do anything and you just baffled, you need to start putting your thought and putting your mind together and look at yourself in the image. Look yourself at the image and you need to start involve, get help, get involved. For a lot of 2,000 commune worker that we can at least deal with. I'm happy because there is a chances that Throk Yung is gonna hold that the democratic, you know, languages still, and I'm really happy for that because you know what, it happened because of this voting factor, and without it, there's no such thing as democratic, and so I'm happy to see that 2,000 commune seats out there because there's still value democratic systems. We see that and they want that, but we want more. We want a realistic opposition party that's going to be accepted by the people and not by the power. We want the people to get involved and make these changes to happen. But you know, oversee and actually we can't do much. We can support you, democratic, which opposition party, whatever. But you have to help yourself. Really get up, you know. ពួកយើងឃើញនៅខាងក្រៅពួកយើងទ្រាំអត់ចង់បានទេ I can't stand it anymore. You guys need to help yourself. Get up. មិនចិត្តខ្ញុំមីមិនត្រឹមតែបងប្អូនស្រុកខ្មែរមិនត្រឹមតែបងប្អូននៅថៃទេបងប្អូននៅកូរ៉េអូខេបងប្អូននៅលាវនៅណាក៏ដោយសូម្បីតែនៅខ្មែរក្រោមចូលមកទាំងអស់គ្នាមកទៅ vote ទៅ register ទៅ do something. Let them see it. There's a lot of you out there that you want the changes. We can be better. Change the system a little bit. We want the system changed so that way people can have chance.
Thank you, Somaly. Thank you. And Bong Sita, do you have any last word? Our show come to an end, and I, like our audience said, we feel you, Somaly. We understand. We all here. That's why we all here. We want change, and because we feel it, we feel every single emotion that you feel, and that's why we are still talking here. We are still um, advocating for people in Cambodia, and we're also working very hard in America for all of us. CNRP-A working so hard pushing our HR 4686 and S3052, pushing that as well. And we are not sitting still. You are not sitting still. And with that note, Bong Sita, any last word or anything that you would like to say?
Just like Somaly said, and you said that, people stop being afraid, especially people in Cambodia. Stop being afraid. Look at the one that stood up. Very few that got thrown in jail or got harassed, but for, our millions of people that became get involved in the democracy movement, but very few that got put in jail because there's some reason, because they had connection with CNRP. They were accused of had connection with CNRP, way back when CNRP was active. But in general, people got up, and they did not get. Not many people got threatened, even though they were threatened. But so what? If you don't stand up, if you don't speak up, who's gonna stand up and speak up for you? We are out here in the United States, all over the world. We can scream, we can yell, but the ultimate people are the one in Cambodia that count. And like I said again and again, if you like in the United States, if you're fighting and then you call the police, and then when the police come, nobody get hurt, they go back home. In Cambodia, I'm not saying to use violence. I'm just saying that if you stand still, sit still, you're not making any movement, and you expect change, it's not going to happen. You have to get up and make a lot of noise. And the next goal that I ask people, I plead people to make, is to make noise about the election committee. They either need to change them. I don't know what the election rules and regulation, but if we can ask and beg and make noise to have them change, and pick people with can be fair, and not cast bias, beg them to do that. But if the rule that's not allow that, then you still make noise to have them be fair. They have to be fair for the next coming up election, the state election, and then the national election coming up. And if it's the same sets of people, they're gonna be taking advantage of that. CPP gonna take advantage of that again. But if the same people, we cannot change the people, then they need to change their sets of, how they do their work. Period. They have to change. So people make those noise, and then they will listen to the people if we make enough noise. So that's my plea.
Thank you, Bong. Thank you. So based on Bong Sita, everybody stand up. Everybody stand up. Go register yourself to vote if you have not registered, and you should have been registered already. And you should have gone to vote already since Sunday. But please, if you haven't done so, register to vote national elections in 2023. and Somaly, I'm going to have you say the last word. Our topic is we talk about June 5th, which is Sunday, last Sunday, Cambodia Commune elections. And we know CLP, which stands for Candlelight Party, got intimidated and got threats. And we all know it's not free and fair elections, but we all fighting for it. We all still go out there. We all still advocate for democracy, and we stand by the people, the Candlelight Party, and we stand. And we were so happy to see them coming out, not afraid. And I mean, they've been hiding for the last 5 years, and now the people are standing up. The people are walking the street. People are enjoying under a slogan, under the Candlelight Party. So I'm going to leave it that, and I'm going to have you say the last word for our show.
Thank you. My last word is pretty much, I just wanted to tell the Candlelight Party in Khmer that we all are so pleased to see the uprising of people. At least something better than nothing again. And I looked at and come on, Scott Jet Achiran, Twoka, Dangta Paha, they might have to go through a lot of hardship, because of all those 2,000 Commune people that's going to be start working. So I can already tell that it's probably going to be really hard, but work together as a team and and not just do it for a personal gain. It's look how far you have to go just to get yourself in that seat. So just be patient and work with CPP, whom in control, whether it's a good CPP or a bad CPP. Young again, we're still Khmer. So we want to make the change. So help each other. And for young support democratic overseas here, we will still look and observe and we'll help whatever we can. But until then, some jet to a guy to make nears war and then go for the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Somaly, and thank you, Bong Sita. Thank you so much for your time today. It was a great speech. You did really well. Thank you so much. And yes, we all feel you, Bong. We all feel the pain, and also through the show we also feel the excitement from Sunday. And like I said, we didn't lose, we gained over 2,000 seats, and like Bong Sita said, 2,000 seats, that's going to be a pain in their butt, in CPP's butt, but it's 2,000 seats that we will make sure that they working for the people and working against CPP as well. So that is the great plus from Sunday. But like you and I and all of us said, we would love more. We would like to see more, but that's what we can get. And so, and that, and like I said, Somaly, we feel your pain, Bong Sita. We feel your excitement, and we feel both of you guys' excitement. So thank you so much, and for joining our show, ladies.
Okay. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you, our audience. We are at the end of our show. Thank you so much for joining our show. This is Khmer Youth Voices for Justice. This is part of the CNRP-America live show. We speak in English every Tuesday. CNRP-America Facebook is live every day, the same time. In Khmer, 6 days a week. I don't think we miss any day yet. We miss when we have so many things to do. But beside that, you can expect for us to show up here, different guests, different hosts, different topics as well. And if you would like to hear any topic on my show or on Khmer shows for the 6 days per week, please email us. Please chat to us, and we'll talk about that. Beside that, thank you so much for being here with me, and thank you everyone for tuning into our shows. I hope that you have a great day. If you are in America, hope you have a great evening. Most of my audience look like from in Srok Khmer, but have a good day and also a good week. I will see you next Tuesday. So hope you continue to be safe and also continue to work and advocate for democracy in Cambodia, like we all here, and also work toward that. So thank you so much and bye.